Good evening. This is the next thrilling instalment in my Chamber of Commerce idea. And what I've done is we had a little bit of an issue with the airtable. It was using some legacy components, so I wasn't able to make it live. And I've gone one better. I've created a nice interface with a website. And I've done that using a tool called Replit. Replit allows us to create code using no code, basically. So what we do is we're instructing an agent. In this case, this is agent 2 of Replit, to create what we want. And I'm not writing any code in this case. There is code behind the scenes, but what I'm doing is I'm going back and forth. So I'm more of a project manager, telling it what I want and then tweaking things. The last change I just added here was sorting the companies alphabetically. Previous to that, they were not in alphabetical order here. So now if I come here, you get Anderson Brown, and these are the different companies in the Chamber of Commerce. And if I go Anderson Brown, we've got the website, the email, and the phone. If you happen to tune into the last one, those are stored in a airtable, which is a kind of database. And this I've created as a fairly simple database with just one table. You can create multiple tables and link them together. And we have the company name, we have their website, the telephone, company description, which I pulled down on the last video. I pulled that from Perplexity. And then we've got a website visual description, and the way we did that was to get the website. So we used a automation which pulled down the website, which then allowed us to get an idea of the color schemes and fonts and things like that. And then we used that to create a header image. At the time, the ChatGPT model, the very latest one, wasn't available via API. And just a couple of days later, after I finished the first video, it became available. So I thought I would go back and make this even better. It has taken a little bit longer, but I wanted to get it out this week. And you can see, so it creates that. In most cases, it should say ideas for, so it's not perfect, but AI image ideas for Blue Line, sustainable furniture. And the new model from ChatGPT is very good with text, occasional errors, but very good on the whole. And then we also created these image suggestions. So my next upgrade or iteration is to allow I choose one of these ideas, and then it would generate that idea using a new ChatGPT image module. So I can choose one and it will display in the front end. So rather than allow them to create every single different version, it's just going to allow them to create one that just limits both the processing required plus the costs. When you create the image, it creates a generation date. This is just used for our OID. Then I can click in here and I can see this one here. This is for Associate Taxi, 99.5% on-time service rate. And I'll show you in the back end in a bit. And then we've got Barnes Flooring, nice one here, testimonials. So someone could, this Barnes Flooring could go in and add actual testimonials and photos, but it can create the rest of the testimonial sheet, and then they can get that on social media. So really it's just to give you some ideas of how you could use these tools, and I do suggest you sort of go away. You can add your own logos and you can modify the prompts, and there we go. It went through a process all those. I had some websites weren't correctly on there, so I've sort of gone through and checked those, and there's just one that doesn't have a website, which is this person here. So let's go back into here, and I'm going to scroll down to show I've got the about. Pulled from Perplexity, the website style. So we've got the website, we get a scrolling website. You can see sometimes might need a bit more delay to get all the text. But we got a color palette, we've got dark teal, this is the hex code, bright green, and then we've got white, accent color is light teal, and then we've got sans serif font, and you can see some more text down the bottom there. And kindly ask that you only generate one image for your own business, so you don't go in and generate ones for other businesses if you can help it. So we're trying to keep it fairly simple. So in this case, it checks to see, has there already been an image created for this particular company? In this case, we haven't got one. So we can generate either idea 1, 2, or 3. And then once we've done that, we can go behind the scenes and download that. This video will be listed under here. This is the flipbook which I created, which also gives you 12 creative ideas. And you can go here, view that full screen. You could also, probably, not sure if you make that any bigger. Yeah, you can also zoom in. So there we go. Then I can flip that, and we can see here, you create a comic. And I've got an example prompt there. And you could also create a PowerPoint presentations, that sort of thing. won't go for all of that. So let's go behind the scenes and show you how this works. I'm going to go to scenarios. Last one I showed you was this one. This is the new scenario. And what that does is, let's just zoom in a little bit. So you click in here. So what it's doing is it's the webhook that is waiting for information, and the information that's passed across is the company name plus which idea they've chosen, and then it searches to see is there already a image for that person. If there is, then it goes back and says, oh, we've already got an image, and it provides that image there. So here's the idea that was chosen, here's the image, and here's the file name, and that gets passed back. If there is no image and no selection, then that's what we see at the moment. So on this page here, we've got no image and nothing has been selected for this particular one. Once we click it, then it's been selected, in which case it goes to the top route. It says there is no image and an idea has been selected. Then it goes to ChatGPT, and here we're passing the details across. And then we have the model is GPT image, and we're passing the description. So that's the description of the idea, which again, if I come to here, it's this description here. So for example, if we go for this one, this is a upcoming webinar on commercial law. And so then it's going to pass that to a variable. It's going to upload that image to Google Drive. Then it's going to send that to the Airtable. We have a short wait as well. Then we get that, we want the image from the Airtable, and we send that back to the calling, which is created under here. I'm going to run that, and that's ready. It's waiting, and this is set to immediately as data arrives, but we won't be able to see it unless I clicked on run there. I'm going to go back to here, and I quite like that second one actually, the webinar. So let's say they're doing a webinar on commercial law. They're going to go generate idea image for idea 2, and we should then see if I scroll down. So it's generating an idea, optimize the image, and preparing for download. It does take a little while, so I might change this so it doesn't go quite so rapidly. So what I might do here is, once that's finished, then I will go and amend that and say, can you make it so it sort of takes a bit longer to go to the end? And if I come over here, you can see this is processing. So it's come in here, it's searched and found that there is not yet an image for this company. Then it goes up here and it's going to make it the API call to create the image. So I'd say, yeah, it usually takes about a minute, and then that's being created. If I come in here, that was the description. Let's zoom in a bit so you can see it. A digital image, and that just posts it 200 here. That just means it was a valid response. If we get like a 400 or something, that means there is an issue. And then we can come into here, so it sets those variables. That is the image which is created. It's uploaded that to Google Drive. Then it has uploaded that into my Airtable, and it's slept for a while. And then we get a record and provide it back. So let's zoom out. I'm going to come over to the other one, and there we go. We have the one created. And you can see now you can't generate one for number 2. I will be resetting all this, so when I send it out to the Chamber of Commerce, they'll be able to go and choose ones. And yeah, it's just to sort of demonstrate how automations work and some of the things which I can do. I can work with no code, I can create automations, I can work with databases. And if I go to that one here, then you can see Anderson Brown. We now have an image in there. When it's generated, which today, 5th, and if I click in there, we see the same image. That's one that's been passed across. Okay. I can choose download the ideas as PDF, and let's show you that. Now we'll go and save it in my downloads folder. So it says AI image ideas for Anderson Brown. I can see here we got the top, then we have idea 1, 2 and 3, and I've sort of formatted it, and it's actually got the generated image as well. So nice link which they can just download and make that available.